Okay, and let's just go from there. We are excited to have it stop there. I'm going to scroll it to the end. Okay, all right. So we're back. So cupping of the mic, very important. And as well as, and there's going to be questions I have about like some, fond memories of some of your favorite, shows that you've done and why.
Sure.
But let's talk about The Police's Don't Stand So Close to Me. How old are you when this came out? Do you remember?
About 10
Okay.
or 11.
Yes.
So it was 80, 81. I think the album came out in 80, late 80.
Yes.
And I have a big sister who's about 9 years older than me, and she had all the Police albums.
Okay.
And it was on the radio, too. And it was the circumstance was we were all in the family car, and my sister was up front, and the radio was blasting, and Don't Stand So Close to Me came on. And I had heard it before.
Right.
But I'd never really, I don't think I even knew the title of the song, so I really wasn't clued in about what they were actually saying.
Yes.
And we all started singing along, because my sister loved the Police, and I loved the Police too, because she was my big sister, and I loved what she loved.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I was like, don't smash. And I was, an enthusiastic singer. I was like, don't smash. Don't smash. Don't smash those books on me. And my sister, I have a visual memory of her turning around and saying, Tal, it's don't stand so close to me, right? And I pretended that, I said, I know.
Yeah, I'm just...
Because I was like, oh, it is? Oh, how embarrassing. Because I just thought, it made sense. You know, it's like, hey, don't bring me down, man, with your heavy knowledge or whatever, I thought. I hadn't seen the video.
Okay, all right.
Although I watched a lot of music TV, I hadn't seen that. So, yeah, I was just singing it with gusto, and then pretended that I knew it all along.
So your older sister was the one that busted you?
Yes, she was very sweet, but she was like, maybe I better tell her.
Before she does it in public.
I know.
And she was 9 years older.
Yes.
So in that world, anyone like a year or two was, whoa, so much older. So that's a big...
Yeah, so I did feel a little uncool, because I wanted to be cool for my sister, and that's why I faked it and claimed that I knew all along.
I bet you're not the only one. So you're right. That song actually came out September of 1980. Mm-hmm. So made by the British rock band The Police. Mm-hmm. And this is our first Police Misheard that we've done. From a lead single from their third album called Zenyatta Mondata, which sounds amazing. And so just to kind of give some skinny to everyone, came out in 1980. It was the band's third #1 on the UK singles chart. It was also best-selling single of 1980 in the UK. Mm-hmm. And I can see why. And it also did well, of course, in Australia, Canada, and the US. I guess in the UK it sold over 900,000 copies.
That's huge.
Which, and was the best-selling single of 1980. And if you grew up there or were an adult then or kids like I was 8 or 9, selling, that's multiple albums where people didn't just download, they had to walk to the store.
Yes.
And buy it with whatever money they had. And it was money, it wasn't debit, right? It was cash or check, I guess.
If you had a check guarantee card, do you remember check guarantee cards? Isn't that hilarious?
Oh my Lord. So when you hear about, like when I hear 900,000 copies, that's a lot.
Yes. That's 900,000 people walking to the grocery store.
And buying it with a check guarantee card or some
with
kind
their
of cash.
lawn mowing money.
So did you also know that it won a Grammy?
I didn't. The song won a Grammy?
The song won a Grammy. So in 1982, so it took about a couple years, it won Grammy Award for Best Rock Performance by a Duo group with vocal. Mm-hmm. Do you know who they were up against around that time?
Gosh, no.
1982.
But this is going to be interesting.
Well, there's a lot that you guys play from your song list.
Oh, yeah.
So, one is Foreigner. They're up against Foreigner #4.
Do you know for what song?
They did not. They just, so we can look that, I'll upload the song and we'll listen to each one. Yeah. Because I know one of the songs you guys play is Jukebox Hero?
Yes. And Hot Blooded?
Hot Blooded. Oh, yeah. I've never heard anyone sing that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lesser picked one.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I have to learn that one. Okay. And then they're also against REO Speedwagon, which is a big group at that time.
Let's see. What would that be? I'm going to keep on loving you.
It has to be. They only talk about that album.
I don't want to sleep. I just want to keep on loving you.
And when you think about that, it's like, oh, it's kind of creepy, but all right. It's kind of creepy. So it was from their album High Fidelity. So that was their album against that. The Rolling Stones album Tattoo You. So whatever songs that were in there.
Waiting on a Friend.
Yep, exactly. And then the other one they're up against was Stevie Nicks. And I just talked about Stevie Nicks last episode, or a couple episodes, with Emily on her One Winged Dove.
Oh, yes. I bet that has all sorts of misheard lyrics in that one.
For sure.
Sings a song, sounds...
And it was when she did it with Tom Petty, Stop Dragging My Heart Around.
Which we do in Karaoke for Hell.
You do that. Okay.
We do.
You do. We did do. That's right. I think I've only heard it once, though. I don't know if it's done a lot. So that's who they were up against in 82, and they won it.
Good for them.
So let's talk about the background of the song. So what do you think the song's about? Just in your mind, when you were an 11-year-old or 10-year-old, you know. You obviously thought it was about books.
Did I process the lyrics? Well, you know, the wet bus stop, she's waiting.
Yes.
You know how bad girls get. I mean, I was a pretty innocent little 10-year-old, so I don't know if I had any. I think it made me mildly uncomfortable, but I wasn't able to put my finger on why.
Well, you're a very smart 10, 11-year-old, so because there's.
I was like, wait, he's the teacher, right?
That's exactly it. So that's what it is. So the music.
I would never get into a car with my. Well, if I got into a car with my teacher, I'd think that he was taking me to school, right? Right.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. So it's really that the music and lyrics were written by lead singer Sting.
Right.
He wrote it, young Sting, and the song deals with mixed feelings of lust, fear, and guilt that a female student has for a high school teacher and vice versa.
And I did not know what that book by Nabokov was.
That's exactly it.
So I'm like, just like that old man, like, wait, this doesn't sound hot or sexy. What's the old man got to do with it?
Well, and you know, you just took my next.
Sorry,
did you know? No,
Lolita.
That's exactly it. So he was trying to put in the Lolita reference of the book by Vladimir Nabokov in there. But I guess the way he did it, and I should have pulled the lyrics, he did it in a really bad rhyming way, like cough. And I guess he's gotten a lot of flack for it because he was trying to get it to rhyme.
Oh, you mean kind of rhyming a
Nabokov
word with exactly the same...
Yes.
Oh, I like this lazy songwriting thing.
So that was his big intent. He's like, you know, there's this, inappropriateness with the teacher and the schoolgirl, and apparently in going through the internet, they do have a relationship with each other. It's not just a hint. That's what Sting says. It's like, oh boy. And then he references to the Nabokov novel regarding Lolita.
So she actually gets into the car, huh?
She gets in the car, yes. And then before joining the police, Sting was actually an English teacher.
I did know that.
Okay.
That he had been a teacher, an English teacher.
I didn't
but I don't know what
that.
age or who his students were.
And this is what he wrote. He goes, here's quote unquote what Sting said. So imagine Sting talking with a British accent. I wanted to write a song about sexuality in the classroom. I've done teaching practice at secondary schools and been through the business of having 15-year-old girls fancying me. And me really fancying them. How I kept my hands off them.
What?
I don't know. That's what he said.
He actually copped to it?
Yes. And then There for My Love of Lolita, which I think is a brilliant novel. But I was looking for the key for 18 months, and suddenly here it was. The opening, the gates, and out it came. The teacher, the open page, the virgin, the rape in the car? What?
The rape in the car?
Getting the sack, Nabokov, all that. This is what
sure
Sting
enough.
said in 81. So there was ooh.
Well, he didn't put that into the lyrics.
Oh, boy.
Or, interesting.
So, I just learned something new.
Gosh. Gonna have to read those words again.
Yeah. And then in 1993, he was asked again about the song. He said one of the song's inspiration, again, was all that. But he also copped to, well, you know, we were blonde bombshells at the time. So he and the other two, because they were all blonde, the three
That's
of them.
true, they were.
And most of our fans were young girls. So I started the role-playing a bit. But then in 2001, he starts to changes his story again. He has an interview on the concert DVD all this time, and then he denies. But the song wasn't autobiographical. Just want to put that out there. That's what he says.
Okay, dude.
Okay. So I just thought that was interesting. And when they made the song, it was actually recorded in Holland over a period of months, which is like, okay, interesting. Holland. We'll go to Holland. And they used a Hammond organ-based soul track that they added with the arrangements, because when I listen to it now again, it does kind of have this kind of almost Caribbean. Yeah. That's
right.
what
Which
he's
was
saying.
kind of a hallmark of a lot of their music.
Exactly. You know? And it kind of is, isn't it kind of the, like ska? Does ska kind of? Yeah. Because ska comes from Jamaican kind of roots. And
yeah. I'm not
I'm not a ska. I'm not.
I don't want to.
I'm not a ska.
Yeah.
Ska. Expert.
Ska scholar.
Ska.
Scholar. Hardy har. Hey, we just made a new joke. Yeah.
So if we have any listeners that are ska experts or ska scholars, as Tal says, please email us or comment because we'd like to know.
How would you classify that beat? In Don't Stand So Close to Me, but it's definitely reggae-ish.
Yes. Yeah. Now the weird thing about it, I didn't know, is remember that song "Money for Nothing" by Dire Straits in '85?
Oh, do I?
You guys don't play that, do you?
No.
Because there's some interesting lines on that, right? and Mark Browndown and I talked about this. So we had Mark on one of our episodes. He was our KJ that talked about the funny story of like there's certain songs that people want to sing, and he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
You mean because of the message contained in the song?
Exactly, and what it can connect. Well, apparently Sting worked with Dire Straits on "Money for Nothing," which the chorus sounds similar to. Don't stand so close.
Don't stand so close.
That's it, girl.
Oh my God! Why have I never thought of that?
I want my MTV. Sting did not even want any songwriting credit, but his record company said, no, and they reworked back with Dire Straits and got some money for it.
You mean he was working with Mark Knopfler, or Mark Knopfler borrowed it?
He worked with Dire Straits, and I think Mark Knopfler borrowed it. Like the thing, and Sting was like, "You're my dude, you're my friend, don't worry about it." And then his record company's like, "Oh no, that is a
you
pull."
need to get paid.
So he got paid, but
it's so funny.
It was his record company that pushed it.
I see.
But you got it right. I Want My MTV is the same.
Stand so MTV.
Yes. You were good.
Funny, it never occurred to me.
You did your research. And then the other thing I want to talk about was the video. So have you seen the video lately?
For Don't Stand So Close to Me?
Yes.
I've seen stills, and I see Sting in the headmaster costume. Yeah, but weirdly enough, I've never watched the whole video.
Well, look it up on YouTube. It's there. And he's a young, I think Sting's maybe mid-20s, early 30s. He's really young, and he looks great, obviously. And he knows it, because he takes off his shirt at the end, of course.
Sting. He just had to show off.
Of course. But they did the video in 1980, and MTV put it in the rotation, which launched the following year. And I remember watching that as a kid, like, wow, look at these guys. Of course, they look great. And everyone was talking about it because they're, wearing, the band's wearing the graduation gowns.
Maybe I have seen it. Yeah, I remember the flapping black gowns.
Yes.
Right.
And then he take off shirt, and you can clearly see that they have a lot of fun with each other. Now, the weird thing is they redid the song or the video and did an 86 version of it. I'm going to find that.
I remember that one.
It's totally different. It was done by a Godley and Cream. That was the name of the people that directed it.
Godley and Cream? Really? I know Godley and Cream. Well, that explains a few. Well, yeah.
Oh.
They do the "You don't know how to ease my pain."
Oh.
Or is it 10cc? Maybe I better not expose my ignorance on the. I think that's Godley and Cream. You make me wanna cry.
Oh, we'll have to look it up. We'll have to look it up because they say they directed the 86 version. And it's no shenanigans in this one. The band looking somber and many dated special effects.
I can hear it in my mind. I remember the chorus was a little it didn't have the same bounce.
Yes.
It was a different kind of style.
That's it. And then the last part about the video and the song is apparently when Sting writes songs, and I know he's not the only one because I know there's another famous performer that does it, he writes his songs backwards. So he says, again, imagine Sting with a British accent.
Okay.
I pluck a title from the air, just free associating, and then try to figure out a story that could apply to, he says. So he was fascinated by the dangerous obsession at the center of Nabokov's novel. He transposed the idea to a relationship between a teacher and his pupil, wanting by this time to identify whatever my sources that. So he's trying this is going to work. This is going to work. So he works backwards.
Interesting.
Yeah. So those are all the cool things I learned about it. But speaking of cool things, let's talk about how you got your name.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, I go by Tal, and which is short for talisman.
Yes.
Which is my real name. It was given to me by my parents. A lot of people, since it's kind of a whimsical name, think that either I gave it to myself,
I thought it was a stage name.
Or a stage name, or I also get the question, were my parents hippies, which they weren't. They were part of the greatest generation. They were older. But my parents were just literary, creative types, and it's not a really amazing story, but my mom wanted to name me Taliesin.
Oh, wow, that's a beautiful name, too.
Yeah, which is a Welsh word, but they were living in remote Alaska, and this was pre-internet, and they were like, do we really know what this word means?
Yes.
You know, and the pronunciation, we don't want to stick her with a name that we haven't fully researched. And then my mom said, well, how about Talisman?
Oh, I love it.
There you go.
And then all growing up, did you go by Talisman or did you go by?
No, Tal.
Always Tal. Okay,
Yes,
unless at school when they had to say your name in roll call, like the full name.
Oh yeah, I always knew because they would pause and say Talisman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got mail addressed to Mr. Talisman.
I
you know, because
bet.
it's gender neutral.
Gender neutral, yes.
Yeah.
What could be worse, Tal? Because I have a best friend from grade school. Her former last name, because she's German, was Hell. Hell. Because in German, that's fire.
Oh.
And so every time the teachers would like wait for
Is
it,
this a typo?
wait for it, and then she ends up marrying and has this other beautiful name. But I loved her former last name.
Yeah,
because
that
of
is rad.
So, okay, let's talk about, because this is where I'm excited. Okay, let's talk about Karaoke from Hell. I know I mentioned you guys at Matt C's episode with me. I'm going to also add on the show notes your link so everyone who doesn't know about you can look into you and when you guys play. But you've done it for, gosh, since 2008, you said. What were some of your favorite performances of, like, people like, wow, didn't expect, let me temper it with, you didn't expect. They walked up. That's what I love about karaoke or anything. It's like, you think that person's going to sing that, and then they bust out something else. Yeah.
Well, let's see. What's a couple of things come to mind.
Okay.
We a lot of times the funny performances are when people leave the stage
mid
song. But not leave, go away, but to do something like they put the mic down and do a dance.
Oh, okay.
Or they put the mic down and then run through the bar.
Oh, wow.
You
I've
know,
never seen
or
that.
if we have a wireless mic, they, we used to play at a bar called Tiger Bar.
Oh, I remember Tiger Bar.
Yeah, which was, a smaller venue, and people got looser and wilder there. So we have some very memorable stories about what went down at Tiger Bar. It's like what we did when no one was around to watch.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm just really uninhibited people would show up.
Yeah.
Rolling around on the ground.
You never had any nudity, did you?
Yes, we did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want the nudity stories. Okay.
I mean, I'm curious.
Sure. Well, Mr. Stawn is going to love this. She knows exactly what story I'm about to tell.
No. Okay.
We used to have a semi-regular, who went by the name Corn Job.
All right.
Now, Mr. Stawn is already keeping count because she says, don't say his name 3 times or he will manifest. Like Beetlejuice, and we don't want him to manifest. So I'll say it one more time, but not 3.
Yeah.
So we have a photo of him.
Oh God, I would love to see
I don't
that.
want to. I'll blank his face out.
Yeah.
I'll cut to the chase. He would get up and start singing, and then eventually his pants would come off.
Oh my God.
And he would, maybe during the bridge or a solo, he would yank his pants down, turn around, and moon the audience.
Oh shit.
And sometimes spread his butt cheeks. I don't know, but we would be like, oh my God! Security is like moving in.
Yeah. And then you put it back up.
I think once they actually killed the lights in the bar because it was like just to preserve everyone's eyeballs from having that seared onto their retinas. But I think he was. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He went away eventually.
Why wasn't I not there?
We haven't had anything that nuts happen in a few years.
I would like to know the song he sang when he would do that. That would be interesting.
know.
All the crazy songs.
I have to ask. We do have a photograph of him, and you can see his bare butt.
Oh my Lord!
So it's safe for work.
So wherever you're at, I'm not going to say your name because we don't want to say it 3 times.
Corn Job, we remember. Oh God, that's true. We remember you, and you were part of Karaoke from Hell lore because it was super memorable.
Holy cow! Okay.
Yes.
And then you also have some funny stories you're going to share with me because when you do Karaoke from Hell, folks, if you ever come, and please come. You go up on this high stage.
At Dante's, it's a high stage.
Very high,
yes.
which, by the way, that darn stair thing, someone's going to die.
Yes, we got to get that reinforced.
In fact, if you need, Fubar's very good. He can make one of those.
Okay, we'll talk.
Because that thing, woo! Anyway, so you go up there, and then Tal or whoever that's helping Allison or, the fine hostesses will give you the slip of your lyrics.
Yeah, the paper. They're on paper.
On paper, but you please share with some stories of I guess there's some lyrics that have been on for a while that totally wrong. Totally wrong.
The band's been around for a long time, and that means a lot of our songs have been around for a long time. Meaning, for every song that we add to Karaoke from Hell, we have to get the words.
Yes.
And print them out and make a guitar chart. And so those lyrics and charts stay around for a while.
Okay.
And, before the internet was just the go-to place for getting lyrics, the folks in the band, namely Dawn,
okay,
would get the lyrics the old-fashioned way by listening to it,
right,
writing down what you think, asking, is this what he's saying? Or she would browse published music books, like a book of Zeppelin songs or whatever, and get the lowdown there, or liner notes. And, for some songs, some of those things just didn't exist, so they did their best.
Right.
And so that led to some pretty funny things. I mean, and some things we are still discovering. For example, just a couple of years ago, Brian, who's the bass player, was looking through the chart for Summer Lovin' from Greece.
All right. And by the way, I'm just going to say, when that is done in karaoke, it's like, it's not one of my faves. It's one that always
I'll
people
reserve
love
comment.
Okay.
But yes, it gets picked at certain shows by certain people.
Yes.
But it's an easy song to do because everyone
easy.
knows it.
And then people love it when they hear it.
And it's a duet, and duets are, we don't have a ton of duets,
yes.
so, you do what you can.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Brian was looking at the lyrics, which I have here, and I know this is the original.
Okay, let's look at this.
Lyrics, or the ones that we made up. So let me find it. I got friendly holding my hand.
Okay.
Summer heat. Here it is.
Oh gosh.
So Danny says she got friendly down in the sand. He was sweet, just turned 18. She was good, you know what I mean. And here's what it says on the Karaoke from Hell chart.
Oh God.
Summer heat. Boiling the meat, which is not the correct lyric.
What is the correct lyric?
It's boy and girl meet.
Exactly.
So just a couple years ago, Brian was like, wait a second.
Would people sing it to that?
Presumably. No one ever told us. No one ever said, hey.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and I guess maybe there's some weird logic, like, maybe they were boiling hot dogs or something. But yeah, summer heat, boiling the meat.
Oh God.
So we just fixed that. It's been in the charts for like 15 years.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, so funny stuff like that.
Oh Lord. Or
things that it's kind of impossible to get the right lyrics for. Like there's a Darkness song that, touching you. Like, what is he saying? The internet doesn't agree. The French in Psycho Killer, I still don't know what they're really saying.
Yes.
Sometimes I find that a client has maybe they had a little golf pencil with them and made a change on the paper. And I'm like, maybe they know. So sometimes people have to take it into their own hands.
What else do you have that you find?
Let's see. Okay. Once upon a time, this is a misheard.
Okay.
Beast of Burden, our drummer thought they were saying Easter Burger.
Oh, Easter Burger. Wonderful.
Here's one that made it into our lyrics.
Okay.
It was a Motel song, Only the Lonely.
I love that song.
And she sings, we lied about each other's. Now, what do you think she says? Do you remember that? About each other's. Do you think she's...
Dreams? I can't remember how the song
it
goes.
It should be dreams, but it sounds like she's saying drinks.
Oh, I'll have to listen to that.
And that's what we thought it was.
Yeah.
We lied about each other's drinks. Because she kind of pops the
Yes,
P.
she does.
And I think we went around and around. I think it was me and Don. I'm like, now come on. Why would they be lying about each other's drinks? She was like, I don't know, Tal. She's a skeptical.
I'm just going to say, if you were with Bill Cosby, you'd be it's like, don't drink it.
No, don't drink what Uncle Bill offers you.
Oh my God, that's a good one. Okay, what else
see.
You got? And by the way, back to the motels. I've not heard anyone sing that before.
It's been no one's been picking that song. It's a beautiful,
such a beautiful song.
Beautiful song for anyone. It's a nice range.
Okay.
Let's see.
The Pina Colada song.
Oh yeah. When this old lady comes into the bar and sees that they've answered each other's ads. We thought it was my own ugly lady, my old ugly lady, instead of my own lovely lady. It was my old ugly lady, and she said, "Oh, it's you."
I love it. Actually, that kind of works too.
Yeah, I mean, because neither of us were happy. Neither of them were happy in the relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can see that. Which we always laugh because my friend Maynard, you guys, he was on episode, I think, 6, we talked about Madonna, and he loves to sing that song. And every time he sings it afterwards, we always have this deep conversation like, they were cheating on each other. They end up connecting, and it's like, oh, it's you. All right, we're good.
I have a whole monologue about this. I have to restrain myself at shows because I'm like, let's talk about this song, okay? So she places an ad in the Penny Saver. No, wait, is she the one who placed the ad, or is he?
It's he. And
wait.
Wait a minute.
There was, in the paper I read.
Okay, so she is the one that initiates it.
She's the one.
Yes.
Who's like, if you like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I like pina coladas and taking walks in the rain, and I'm not into health food. So think about this. She has to be just crushed and furious, sitting in a bar called O'Malley's when this guy walks in, and she's like, fuck.
It's my ex, or soon to be ex.
God damn
soon
it.
To be ex. I never thought about it.
Oh, that's why she says, oh, it's you.
And then he's like, oh, it's my ugly lady.
Hey, it's you. Let's order pina coladas and pretend this never happened. Let's never speak of this again.
Oh, there's another guy. I don't know. Rupert Holmes sings that, right? Correct?
Yes.
Is that the only song is that his one-hit wonder? Is there other ones? He's done others?
Oh my gosh, he wrote something else. I looked him up the other day.
I knew he did.
I'd have to look it up.
Because, so just, here's the rabbit hole we're going to go into in a second. So one-hit wonders, and I always joke, and I'm not kind of half joking, but not like, we got to make one song. Because all you need is the one song.
That's right.
Right?
And you're eternally remembered.
So here I was, picture this. 1994. I was in a customer service training class.
Yes.
And they always do the usual, oh, Tal, Mel, everyone, give us something you wouldn't know about you.
Oh,
You know, the 2 lies or a truth, whatever. And it gets to, I'm going to call her Jenny, Mousy Brown. I don't remember her name. And she looks and she goes, well, anyone here remember the song? I wanted to say that, but it was a one-hit wonder, and it was, as soon as I remember it, you'll be like, oh yeah, Bernie, we end up finding it's her dad that wrote it, and he made millions off of it. It's that, Key Largo, here's looking at you, kid.
Oh, yes.
Looking at you, kid.
Yes. He was looking at, he's talking about Casablanca.
Yes. That was her dad.
Oh my God.
And we're like, no, and we couldn't check it because it was and she's like, no, it really was. And because of it, he makes his money doing shows here and there, and that one song has
provided for all. Yeah. Oh wow.
Whatever that song is. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear bits and pieces.
Yeah, Key Largo, I think it was called.
Yeah. I don't remember any of the words.
Yeah, but it's about Casablanca, the love of that. And his name is Bernie something, and that was her dad.
If only there was some way we could find out. If only there were some series of tubes that we could check.
Was there anyone here? I'm going to dig deeper in the world of karaoke for Mel. Was there anyone ever asked to leave at all in any of the shows at least you've done?
Yeah, let me think for a second.
The reason why I asked this is I remember when I started just coming recently. I remember, I think it was almost a year ago now. God, time is flying. Where some gentleman got excited with his dancing and then fell into your drummer's kit.
Oh, yeah.
And that was, I thought he was going to be out,
Was that at Alberta?
Yes.
That was a total accident. It was not his fault.
He felt
but
bad.
He's not the first to fall into the drum kit. He was not the first. That was a very small, I still feel bad about that, because the band was like, ah! And it was a total accident. If you're listening, you know who you are. I'm still so ashamed of that. Anyway, yes, some people, one of the things that I do as the MC is I keep an eye on people's bodily movements.
Yes.
Because it's a very absorbing experience to be up there singing.
Oh, my Lord.
You're concentrating on getting the song right. People are watching you.
Yes.
You're listening to the band. You're reading the lyrics. It takes practice.
A lot.
And some people get really excited, really energized by the music, or they've had a lot of drinks. It's a bar, we're used to that. So some people I know instantly to watch where they go. Because they start flailing their arm, and they're dancing, whatever.
Dancing, yes.
And they don't really know about their surroundings. And so the guitar players are like, their eyes are bugged out watching their pedal boards.
Yes.
Because those are really important, and the drummer, and I've you might see me sometimes.
I
with
noticed
my arms ready.
Yeah, you kind of keep them in an area.
I've caught people. I've stopped people who just shoot an arm out. Yeah. So.
Has anyone tried to jump off the stage?
Thankfully, no.
Oh, thank God! Because I always think, is someone like going to tell their friends go out
not
there?
Not off the Dante stage. Not if they're unless they're stupid.
Yeah.
At the Tiger Bar stage, some people would jump off. One of our guitar players, David, who goes by the Punisher, used to go there and sing on his off days.
Yeah.
And he would take some flying leaps.
Oh my God.
I remember David. I've got video.
Oh my Lord.
But those was a shorter stage.
I've never seen it, so I always wonder in the past, has anyone
there
tried to
used
do that?
to be a lot more mayhem than there is now. I think
Wow.
something's changed. People aren't getting quite as nuts. People would get bounced a lot more. But as far as being on the stage, it's generally a safe place. And yeah, I can't remember any terrible mayhem recently.
That's good.
Or pants dropping.
Well, and I always tell people, if you haven't, because I think I mentioned at the Matt C episode, it is daunting. I mean, it's loud. You're right. You're trying to remember everything, but you take very good care of them.
I try.
You tell us where to go, and if we miss it, you just we'll figure this out.
Wait.
And so we appreciate that. And I always tell people, even if you suck up there, it doesn't matter. You got up there, and I will clap and clap for you.
Totally.
Because it's so hard to do it.
I understand it's really intimidating. I mean, it takes a lot of strength to do karaoke in the first place.
And have
people, singing in a mic, and so it's a big ask.
Yes.
And because it's live band karaoke, another factor is that there's this really loud band behind you,
which is awesome. We love it.
Which is really powerful and fun, but you have to keep the microphone close to your mouth so you can hear yourself over the rock.
The rock. And we have some fun characters. Elvis comes.
Yes, Portland's Elvis. Yeah, right. Also known as Saturday Market Elvis. Our beloved street singer and busker. He comes regularly to the Dante show.
Yes.
And we have other shows that are less. I mean, the Dante show is the. What am I trying to say? Our flagship show.
Your flagship show.
Right. That's where we have our residency. We play at the Spare Room in Northeast Portland
on Thursdays.
First and third Thursdays, and that's a much mellower scene.
I love it.
And a couple other once a month things. So I would encourage people to check it out. I heard recently, I think it was Matt who said that just the name of the band, Karaoke from Hell,
that's what he said. No,
it's a little intimidating. Like, oh, what are they going to do? Rough me up or something? Are they going to screw with me? And I'm like, no. It was called Karaoke from Hell because when it first started, it was kind of a free for all, making it up as we go along. Never practicing, different musicians every time.
Okay.
Bordering on performance art.
Oh God.
So that it was technically bad.
Yeah.
But fun anyway, because it was like, who cares? Let's just do this song. Don't know the song? Let's do it anyway. And woo! Playing at the Satyricon.
I remember it on the Satyricon in the 90s. Yes.
And then over the last 27 years, we slowly went pro. In very tiny little steps until we're actually a good band. And we have some wonderful musicians with us.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, don't worry about the hell part.
Yes.
Mistress Dawn says if she'd known that it was going to last this long, she would have given it a different name.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well, and what was the story with, did they think it was just going to be a year or two of it, and then it just lasted longer than expected kind of thing? Because that sounds amazing.
Well, that was before my time.
Okay.
But I think our home base, Dante's, it's celebrating its 20th anniversary this year.
Lord.
And that was kind of when, because Karaoke from Hell would play at Burbati's, which was nearby.
Gosh, Burbati's as well, yes.
And Satyricon, so it was this sort of
in that
old
area.
town, Chinatown family, and hey, why don't you just come to Dante's once a month, or once a year. Hello, once a week.
Yeah, once a week, every Monday. always Mondays.
And that residency started, and so it kind of stabilized the personnel, and the song list started to grow.
Yeah, more than the 999.
Yeah, I think we started with 66 songs, and now it's close to 700. Although,
oh my gosh,
we like to say we have 666.
That's the the site says that. Yeah,
666. Although technically it's a few more. So we always try to grow the catalog.
That's amazing. Have you ever? Here's another question. I know there's one live karaoke that I've done in the Bellevue, Seattle area where They do it with like you sing to a karaoke. You don't even have the lyrics anymore. The lyrics are like they play to the karaoke screen.
Yes, I think I know which band you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. There are a couple bands that sync up to lyrics.
Yeah.
And I've sung with a couple of those guys, and it works fine. Although I do wonder what happens when, because with live band karaoke, you never know. Someone might get nervous or freeze or stop. I'm like, how do they stop?
I think they just keep going. I don't think they can stop.
Yeah.
I think that's how they do that.
Because part of the fun in Karaoke from Hell sometimes are the train wrecks, where we just have to stop and say, how about we start that again? Because the band, someone was in the wrong key or whatever. Right. I'm like, what happens?
Or it happened 2-3 weeks ago when I was there where the gentleman just did his own thing, and you guys were trying to get him to where he needed to be. Like the second time on, I was like, we're just going to do it, and he's just going to do it with us.
Yeah, there are a variety of techniques that we employ with singers that are doing something unexpected, which we're used to.
Yes.
And that's what makes every show different, and it's never boring. Never boring. It's so much fun. And even if you don't sing, it's just, I always say, it's fun to just watch.
Oh my gosh,
and see how it works out.
Yes. Well, like I said, I'll put the website on the show notes. You guys need to come. And if you have some good examples of like what Tal shared with Misheard song lyrics, please email us at misheardsongs@gmail.com. That's MISS Heard. And we would love to hopefully have you next to me, and we can talk about some misheard songs you grew up with, just like your police version up there. And you learned some new stuff, right? You didn't know
totally did. Yeah,
right?
Like the Dire Straits
Dire
detail.
Straits, yeah. So everyone, thank you again, and thank you, Tal, for coming. We're excited we had you guys come over.
Thank you. This was a treat.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.